Awesome. Well, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you. And good morning to those of you on the other coast. Thank you so much for joining us. We're really super excited about today's webinar. We're going to be talking about fourth quarter listing inventory blueprint for success with our coach, Darryl Davis. To get the most from today's webinar, we want you to take really good notes. And we also want you to use that Q&A panel there to ask any questions that you might have. Sarah's going to be monitoring that for any technical questions you might have, and I'll be monitoring it for all the rest of the questions. It is going to be a full day, so bear with us. We're going to get to those questions at the end. If you want to reach Darryl at any time after today's webinar, you can reach him on all social media platforms at Darryl Speaks. Darryl is the author of 3 books, all published by McGraw-Hill Publishers. That first one that you see there, How to Become a Power Agent in Real Estate, is actually the #1 selling book to real estate agents on Amazon. Darryl was recently named one of the top 2020 influencers and thought leaders from Miss Media Magazine. And he's the recipient of the coveted CSP designation from the National Speakers Association, which is only awarded to less than 2% of speakers worldwide. And on that note, Darryl, I know you have a lot to share and a lot to teach today, so let's get this party started.
All right. Thank you, Julie. Some of the power agents, I know who this guy is, but you know, we have some guests who want to bring them up to speed. Anyway, I'm excited to be here with you guys today. Today we're going to cover this fourth quarter blueprint for success because, you know, we are at that place where we need to finish the year strong. So I want to help you in doing that. So first thing I want to address, though, is a common question that we get is this, for people who are with us for the first time, is this a sales pitch, this webinar? No, it's not, but I do want to be clear. This webinar is for our power agents. Those are people that are in our membership program. And some of you on this call are actually guests. And so we welcome the guests. We're glad you're here. And we promise you're going to get a tremendous amount of value out of this. But from time to time, I am going to be talking directly to power agents as like a sidebar thing. So I just want you to be aware of that. For those of you that are not power agents, you want to just write down that website, darrylspeaks.com/trial, because at the end of the webinar, we're going to give you a chance to find out about the program, and we run this special. And but I will share, just to bring you up to speed real quick, this one slide. We are currently going to be, by the end of this month, be raising the tuition. We've been holding it down because of the coronavirus. And so anybody that is in now, they're going to be grandfathered in. But we are going to be raising that. For right now, though, we are running a special, an introductory for people to get familiar. It's $5 for 30 days, and they have full access to the program. You can cancel anytime. There is no long contracts to that. You have complete access to the Power Program website, and you're going to get some bonuses today. But we'll talk about that at the end. I just want to cover that up front really quick. Right now, we're going to talk about the fourth quarter, what we need to be doing. I'm going to give you some strategies, and we're going to start with the first one. So for those of you that are following along, taking notes, do me a favor, write this down. Number 1 is recommit to your profession. You know, this is an important concept here when we talk about recommit. Any of you that have been in real estate for a decent amount of time, you know that real estate is like a relationship. You know, when you get married, you don't walk down that aisle and say, I do, and expect that sucker to work out by itself for the next 30 years, 50 years, 100 years, whatever. You got to keep recommitting every morning when you wake up, every night when you go to bed. And real estate's the same way. We're only as good as our last commission check. And so what we need to do is constantly keep recommitting. You know, new agents, when they first get into real estate, they're pretty excited about what's possible. And when we've been in the business for a certain amount of time, it's sometimes harder to keep that same level of passion that we used to have. And so how you can access that passion again is just by recommitting. Just saying, you know what, this is going to be my year. I'm going to finish this year strong. I saw a quote I just shared on my, where we're going to be sharing it actually, is that every day, we do get a second chance. I'm screwing up the quote. We get a chance. We always get a second chance, and it's called tomorrow. The next day in our lives is an opportunity for us to reinvent ourselves. I'm going to tell you, one of our students, Brian Young, from Young Realty. He said this to me not too long ago. He said, during the coronavirus, I had to decide to either bury my head in the sand or lean into my business. I chose to lean in, and I became more committed. In the last 7 days, I closed 7 deals and wrote 5 new contracts. That's pretty awesome. Here's somebody who was ready to bury his head when this thing started happening. That's the power of commitment, right? So I want you to be so committed to a vision in your life, in your business, that people will stop questioning you. They'll simply move out of the way. That's how you listen. If you've ever seen really successful people in real estate, actually in any business, one thing that I love how I heard one author say this in his book, In Search of, Tom Peters wrote this great book and did a whole thing about In Search of Excellence. And he used this term called madman, without being sexist, but madman on a mission, where you're so focused, so passionate that you don't look at circumstances. You just cause the results that you want. This is now not a time for you to try things. This is a time for you to reinvent yourself. I don't have to tell you that, we have this thing called the coronavirus. And listen, we have people on different parts of the country. We might even have some people from overseas in the world. And so this coronavirus has been hitting people at different levels. So I don't know where you are. So I need to talk to the masses, right? Some of you are just seeing surges. Some of you are not because you're through it. But listen, there's this thing called the coronavirus. And what we've learned is that this virus has forced us in this industry to reinvent ourselves. And we need to reinvent ourselves. Otherwise, we'll be left behind. Listen, let me tell you something. There's some agents that have quit real estate because they couldn't reinvent themselves. And I don't want that for you. I want you to, and actually, there's an opportunity that you could argue that the virus and what's happening has leveled the playing field where we all have the same thing to deal with, where it feels like we're learning how to fly a new airplane and build it at the same time, right? Let me show you a couple of companies that did not reinvent themselves, and this is why it's so important. Some of you don't recognize this because you're too young for some of you do. That's a BlackBerry. That's what a BlackBerry was when they first came out back in the day. Now they're still around, this company, by the way, but not doing phones anymore. See, BlackBerry was real powerful. When cellular phones first came out, they were attached to a battery that came out of a Chevy truck. It was huge. You could make a phone call for 5 minutes, and that was it. And then all of a sudden, there was texting, and there was the texting, and then the texting and phone came together. That was BlackBerry. BlackBerry merged texting and cell phones together. They were the first. And people said they own the marketplace. Now, here's the important concept. If you do any research about BlackBerry, because they've lost market, they're like, well, who are they? If you do any research on them, here's what you'll find. At the time, BlackBerry was like, listen, we're BlackBerry. We don't have to reinvent ourselves. We don't follow. People follow us. So, we set the bar. The problem is they were too arrogant. They didn't reinvent themselves. That's why they lost market share. Here's another one. Back in the day, if you wanted to watch movies, those of you that, what I'm talking about, we get in a car, we go rent a VCR tape. We go to a building that looked like this called Blockbuster, and we would take one, we rent it, we pay for a few days. If we didn't bring it back, then we had to pay $1.99 penalty fee, right? Blockbuster was like, listen, when online and the internet movies started coming out, these people said, well, listen, we can't go online. We have all these stores. We have all this inventory. We can't go online. So they didn't. Guess what? Out of business. So we need to reinvent ourselves. That's number one. Recommit to your profession. Look at this as an opportunity. Reinvent yourself. Here's the second thing I want to talk to you about, and revisit your business plan. Now, some of you may not have even been doing a business plan. You may be managing your business based on crisis. How much money do I have in the bank? Oh, I got to work harder. You can't do that. You've got to listen, gang. You are a business within a business. You have to. What I don't like about when people call us like real estate salesperson, the part that I don't like about that is because, a car salesman, and that's nothing bad, by the way, a car salesperson sells cars. They close transactions, They don't have to worry about advertising the store. That's what they call a car dealership. They call it a store. They don't have to worry about advertising the store. They don't have to worry about hiring receptionists and managing staff or recruiting other people and budgets. They don't have to worry about that. They show the car, they sell the car, and that's it. You're not a real estate salesperson, because in our business, what we have to do is we've got to manage our money, manage self-promotion, think about branding, manage our time. It's total. We are business people, and you have to think as a business person. As a business person, you can either work by crisis or work by objective. Work by crisis is you look in your checkbook and you say, I need money. That's crisis. Objective is, you know what is the rest of this year going to look like? What is my future going to look like? What does retirement look like for me? What does the well-being of my family look like? And that's what a business person does. So what I want you to do is think like a business person and have a business plan. Now, power agents, we have in the classroom, Julie, are we okay? Did I just hear a mic? Are we all right?
You did hear a mic. If you could step a little closer to the plant, that would be great. I know that sounds odd, but it's just the way Big Marker is doing right now. We needed to go a little closer to the plant so that you're centered. There we go. That helps. Yeah.
Okay, that is really
Sorry.
so. Thank you, Julie. I appreciate that. I'll try. I'll try to.
Cut your face off when we don't want it to cut your face off.
Oh, we don't want it to cut my face off. But listen, I appreciate that.
You got the dimple. Let's use them. Let's work it. Okay.
Gang, gang, we've got a new technology thing going here. So that's so Julie, we got new equipment, and so Julie's just making sure that it looks good. Thank you, Julie. I appreciate that, because I don't know how I look. Anyway, here's so where was I? Oh, this is for the power agents. So power agents. So let's go back. Everybody take a deep breath and let's get back into the concept here. Revisit your business plan. So as a business person, you should have a business plan. Now, there's all different types of business plans. You can do a one-sheet business plan. You can do a to-do list. That's a real low-level one. Power agents, I want to talk to you for a second, because as you know, part of your membership, you have the classroom, and the classroom has all of these categories. One of them is the time and money management. When you go into time and money management, as you know, there's tons of forms and checklists and flyers and to-do lists. And one of them is the breakthrough business plan. It's like 40 pages. I just want to teach from this for a little bit. Like I said, it's over 40 pages, incredible. The thing that makes awesome about this is it focuses, it's like 3 plans within one. You'll see the cover there, and it says now business, future business, and financial freedom. So how this works, and everybody, I just want you to get the concept here, even non-power agents, right? Now business is setting up, like looking at what are you going to do in your business to list and sell now, like to get business now, like in the next 30 days, whether it's to get more listings or get more sales. What can you do in the next? So it's short-term planning, and that takes different tasks, different strategies than in the next category. The next category would be future business. Future business is dealing with farming and self-promotion, planting seeds and et cetera, and flyers. That's future business. So there's 2 different business plans there. The last one is financial freedom. Now, this is usually for the agent that's got good business. They've got several listings, money's coming in, but they've got a plan for their future financially, whether it's investing in real estate, saving, etc. Steve Malone, one of the things our power agency said, because of Darryl's business planning, I found more free time while still closing over 23 million production, just 12 months. I highly recommend the program. So anyway, working a business plan is important. Now, part of that is using motivational devices. So let me share with you some of the devices that I love that power agents are using. And you guys can create, any of the guests on the call, you can recreate these. These are very simple, what I'm going to show you. Let me just skip to the same things in time management. One of the things that we did, because one of our power agents asked for this, is a schedule, right? So one of the things you want to do is perhaps schedule your time like you would anything, right? It's interesting when we have, let's say, a closing, for example. If we're going to have a closing, like we don't have to worry about our schedule. Like we'll work around our schedule around the closing. Like the closing is the most important thing. So if you've got the kids and you've got to do this and you got to run around, whatever it is, you make sure you're going to be at that closing. That's priority number one. When you don't have a closing, what's your other priority? What should your priority be? What should you be working around? What should that most important thing be? And usually it's prospecting. So one of the things that we did here, and I'm just going to reference this. If you are looking on the screen, you will see 9 o'clock to 10:30, it says prospecting now business. For example, calling physicals, calling expired, that's now business. Then over to the right, you'll see it says 2:30 to 4:30, prospecting future business. Facebook, door knocking, calling friends and family, sending out note cards. So one of the things I suggest that you do to help you stay focused and productive to finish off this year strong is block out some time. Some people call it time blocking. Schedule certain times of the day where you're doing certain activities, right? Okay, here's something else. We love the dot board. For any of our agents that are doing it, you know the success of this. Those of you that aren't, you've got to implement this. Everybody on this call can do it, guests included. So I'll try and explain the chart here. It shows January through December on the left, right? And over to the right, there's 3 columns. Let me show you what it looks like. It looks like this. Let me go back. So let me explain, and I'll go back to Mary's dot board. The concept is anytime that you do any kind of business in one of those 3 categories, let's say you get a listing, you put up a dot. Let's say you get another listing, you put up another dot. Let's say another listing, you put up a dot. Oh, one of your listings sold, another agent sold it. Or let's say that you sold your own listing, you would actually get 2 dots because you're getting both sides. Now, what's really powerful about this dot board, sorry, let me go back, is at any one time, you can see how your business is doing. That's number one. You just look at the dot board. Here, let me go to Mary's. Let me scroll back here. There's Mary's dot board. Mary can see, and I've got to go into Mary's here. If you look at February, right? She did okay. March, oh my gosh, did okay. Got a couple of dots. But man, April, May, June, she was really kicked. So you can see at any glance. Now in August, there's a little bit of a dry spell as far as revenue, like money, like closings, right? So having contracts here, but she got 2 listings. The powerful thing about the dot board is it empowers you. It's called gamifying. It helps gamify your business. You know what? I got to get some dots, and I am going to tell you something. It is the silliest little thing, but it is the most powerful thing you have in this dot board. My power agents told me it helps them stay motivated and focused because it gamifies their business. And that's the whole point. It's so simple. You get construction paper, you draw the lines, you buy the dots, bada bing, there you go. Here's another one to stay focused and motivated. And that is the activity board, right? What we created is this activity sheet for agents to prospect. So for example, you've got it self-explanatory there, Sunday through Saturday, call 5 clients, send 50 letters, call 5 FSBOs, call expireds. And the game is every day you're doing something to generate more listings in your business because listings are so important, especially in today's market. Again, just another motivational device to help you stay focused. One last thing I'm going to share with you, and that's this little motivational sheet here. Let me go, say something first. So one of the things that Warren Buffett taught me, he said that if you're trying to work on too many projects at the same time, you can actually feel overwhelmed, confused, where to start, etc. So his philosophy is what he does is he focuses on 5 major projects at a time, and that's it. And once one of those 5 gets accomplished, then he'll put another one in its place, you see. So he's only thinking or working on 5 things at a time, and that's it. He doesn't worry about number 20 or number 21, which some of us do, right? So with that concept, here's what we did. We created this sheet, and it's basically a daily to-do list sheet. And I'm all for paper and pen with stuff like this. So what are my top must-do activities today? Now, here's the concept. because one of our power agents said this to us. I said, Darryl, sometimes I feel like I'm doing a lot of busy work and I don't feel like I really accomplished anything in the day. And so I said to them, listen, if you just focus on the magic of 3, Warren Buffett does 5, I'm saying 3. Before you start your day, listen to me, gang. I want you to think about what are the top 3 things that I must get accomplished today. I don't care what happens. I don't care. I got this deal or that deal. These 3 things, these 3. If I go home to go to bed and I accomplish these 3 things, I will feel like a sense of accomplishment. I'll feel good about my day. Now you can have a to-do list with 50 items on it, but these are the 3 you must get done. And that's what that other column is. All right, here's some of my additional to-dos I will do. And of course, acknowledge yourself for anything you accomplish today. So that part you would do in the evening. Let me tell you why we created this is because we learned something, and we've tested this with some of our power agents, is if at the end of the day, you look at your whole day and you say, well, what did I accomplish? What do I feel good about what I did? Hopefully it's going to be those top 3 things, but maybe there's some other things that I did that are really powerful, that are really important. And if you go to bed every night acknowledging yourself for the things that you did, it's going, for any of you that have any frustration or stress, you're going to train your brain to look for the accomplishments throughout the day. You'll train your brain to think more positively versus negatively. And then there's some other self-improvement tips that we have. Okay, here's something else I want you to do, because power agents know this. So everybody on the call, including the guests, is that when we think of our business on a short term, like the problem with setting year goals is we don't usually work on it until the end of the year. But what we're finding through our coaching with our students is that by every Monday, we have a coaching call for our power agents. And it's during that Monday call where agents will bring their questions, they'll bring their comments, and I'll coach them. But the real value in that Monday conversation with the agents is it's an opportunity for them to recommit and set the tone for the rest of the week. That's the real powerful part. And so what I realize is that whole concept of recommitting to your business, that every Monday is a new week for you, and it's an opportunity. If you're not a power agent, get with another agent, somebody that you can sit down, do a brainstorming with, share with each other what your to-do list looks like, what you're going to accomplish the next 7 days, and add what you accomplished the last 7 days. So that's a real powerful thing that'll help you. All right, here, let me skip through this and go, because I want to get to the next thing here because I made my point. So that's the motivational devices. Let's talk about prospecting to build your listing inventory. Now, power agents that are on the call, some of these things you're aware of, I want you to really focus on something for between now and the rest of the year, okay? One of our students, Brian Tooley, said, I could see the long-term benefits utilizing the system. So let me share with you some of what we're going to cover. And by the way, there is a webinar we did on the 6 best strategies to increase your listing inventory. We just did this a few weeks ago. Make sure you watch that because there's a lot of stuff. I'm going to teach 4 of the 6 right now for you. And these are my favorite. Number 1 is, I got to say it is the for sale by owner. To me, for sale by owners is now business. These are people that need our help. Let me tell you something, more so now than ever. One of our students, I don't know if I have the slide, so I'm just going to say it anyway. One of our students from Howard Hanna Real Estate in upstate New York, she said, Darryl, first of all, use your dialogue. I got 5 listings in one weekend, and they were all FSBOs. And I said, well, that's pretty good. I said, what was that like? And she said, you know what? The FSBOs seem nicer than before the pandemic. I said, why do you think that is? She said, well, I think because they're lonely. They're shut in. And no, that's not why. Maybe. But here's what I believe. I believe for sale by owners, you know how you might feel about your business right now, that it's still confusing, overwhelming. What should I be doing? Should I do this? How do I do virtual? What technology do I need? Like we're still reinventing ourselves. Well, for sale by owners are that times 10, meaning they're like, I want to sell my house. I definitely want to move on, but I don't know if this is a good time. Are there buyers? The coronavirus, can I be safe? Like my point is that if there was any time in our industry, in the history of real estate, where sellers feel that they need us more now than ever, now's that time. So really, by calling that for sale by owner, you're helping these people to get through to their next level. Second is expireds. What's great about expireds, these people have already said to us, hey, I want to sell. I'm committed to selling now, right? So, but they just weren't successful at it. Now, I know in some markets that are watching this, you don't have as many expireds because things are selling for a ridiculous amount of money and they're moving just as quick as they get on MLS. But again, there are some markets on this call that's not the case. I'm going to tell you, this is something to maybe really shift gears and take a look at, and that's houses for rent. And here's why I think houses for rent are so powerful. In certain parts of the country, based on what's happened because of the laws and the coronavirus and not evicting people and there's some landlords that have really gone through some challenges with their properties, and they're at a point where, you know what, I can let these people go. I want to sell this property. I've been bleeding money. The property is at its highest price that I could possibly ever get. I don't think it'll be much more. I'm planning a couple of years. Now's the time. So here's my point, gang. Houses for rent. If you see an ad where they're looking to rent their property, you give them a call and ask them, hey, if I can find a buyer who's willing to buy your property, would you be interested, right? One of the questions that people ask me, can you call for sale by owners and expireds during the pandemic? Now, I have a disclaimer here, and this disclaimer is this. Whatever I'm about to teach you, you got to do whatever your broker says to do. Don't get confused by what an association or the board or NAR says even, because our association, the National Association of Realtors, is an association. It is not what manages your license. Your state manages your license, and your broker, you're working under the broker's license. So what supersedes anybody's opinion is Department of State licensing and your broker. So with that said, I'm going to tell you my thoughts on this. And just so you know, for those of you who don't know me, this is my specialty when it comes to calling FSBOs and expireds. This is a picture of me in the last class that we did on Long Island, New York. We had about 700 people in the inventory intensive. You'll see me holding my cell phone. There's a cord there. What I do is I call FSBOs live from the stage. My batting average, if I call 4, I'll schedule 3. So the reason why I'm telling you this is because I just want to let you know when it comes to FSBOs and expireds, this is my specialty. This is what I'm known for. So I've researched it a lot. Yeah. So here's what I can tell you when it comes to for sale by owners and expireds. You absolutely can call them. Let me go back here and say this. So the concept of the do not call list says you cannot call somebody, make an unsolicited call when they're on the do not call list. That doesn't apply to FSBOs. Here's why: because it is solicited. As a matter of fact, it even says in the do not call list, the only way you can call somebody who's on the list is if they have given you written permission. It's very vague, though, the way it reads. It does have to say, hey, Darryl, I give you permission. No. The fact that a for sale by owner is publishing their phone number and they're saying, call me, that is the written request to call them. Therefore, we're not doing unsolicited. We are responding to a solicitation that the homeowner has instigated. So that is the legality of that. But anyway, do what your broker says to do. Now, going back to the slides. So there's a whole bunch of dialogue that we created around the coronavirus also when it comes to calling for sale by owners and expireds and a whole bunch of other things. I'm going to focus on getting to the houses for, let me just see here. What is the best way to get FSBOs, expireds, houses for rent? Oh, yeah, that's another question that we've gotten recently. So my favorite way to get your FSBOs and expireds is this company, and that's called RedX. We love this company. Expireds, FSBOs, for rent by owners, pre-foreclosures. We have a gift for everybody on the call. For those of you that are not power agents, even if you look at that website, darrylspecial.com, when you use the promo code SMILE, They waive the setup fee, which is $150, and they waive the 30 days so you can kick the tires and it won't cost you anything. So that's darrylspecial.com, and then type in the word smile. So houses for rent. Let me show you the dialogue. That's what I wanted to get to. Now, I know that it might be a little blurry to see, so let me just go through with it. I'm actually going to take a look at it myself here. Hi, I'm calling about the rental. Is the house still available? And they'll say yes. Step 2, introduce. So, well, hi, this is Darryl Davis, Power Realty. How are you? They'll say fine. Step 3, clarify. The reason why I was calling is I do see you're renting your place, but I was wondering if I had someone who wanted to buy your house for a nice profit, would that be of something you'd be interested in? And then they'll say yes or no, possibly. And at that point, if there's some possibility there, you start asking rapport building questions about the property and, about how many bedrooms, how many, I see that you have this, whatever you see that's missing in the ad, you want to try and glean that out of them. I don't see, how big the property is, if it's a house rental, etc. And then step 5, confirm the appointment. Would you be offended if I just stopped by? I will tell you that dialogue, would you be offended if I just stopped by to see your property, is really powerful. I'm going to say, listen, when it comes to calling, okay, so when it comes to calling FSBOs and expireds and houses for rent, which one of the things that I learned, like if there was a secret ingredient to my success of speaking to 4 people and scheduling 3 appointments, it's this. There's one major one, and that is your focus when you're making these calls should not be to get an appointment. Your focus should be on building a relationship with another human being. Now, the reason why this is so powerful, what I just said, is because when you make an appointment when you make a call about you getting an appointment, the focus is all on you of winning. If you don't get the appointment, you lost. So it just creates a lot of pressure for you, and you're making the whole call about you winning. Now, if the focus is about building a relationship, number 1 is whether you get the appointment or not, it doesn't matter. You probably built a relationship, so you won. So there you go. Number 2 is in order to build a relationship, you need to ask questions. And that's true about life in general. So it'll force you to focus on asking more questions. In asking questions, you're getting more information, you're building rapport. And here's the beautiful thing. The better you are at building rapport, that are getting to build this relationship with another human being, the more likely it is and easier it is to get the appointment. Like the appointment will happen by itself. You may just have to give it a little nudge by saying, hey, Mary, that property sounds really nice. Let me ask you, would you be offended if I just stopped by to take a look at your house? I'm telling you, that would you be offended is magical. Only though, if you have built a relationship with that homeowner, and you can't build a relationship if you're not asking the questions, and you won't ask the questions if you're not committed to building a relationship with another person. So that's the real key and the power. I hope that helped you there. Okay, now, so we've got FSBOs, expires, houses for rent. The last one, number 4, is past clients. So what I want you to start to look at is your past clients this year. Between now and the end of the year. One of our superstar power agents, Annette Mina, she started our training back in 1993. She was actually a fairly new age. She already had a few years under her back. I can't remember exactly what the number was, but it was in the beginning part of her career. She is the top agent for 2017, 18, 19. And she's probably going to be the number 1 agent. By the way, Douglas Elliman, I don't know how many agents they have. I think they have over 7,000 agents, and she's like number 1 in the company. And she focuses on, the reason why I'm showing you her testimonial is because she focuses on building her client base. That's it. I mean, it's about client base for her. And so what I did here is I've got a little dialogue that I created for you in getting in touch with your past clients if you haven't spoken to him in a while. And I have another thing I want to share with you. It's very simple. And this is like abbreviated dialogue. You say, hey, Mary, this is Darryl Davis. How are you? Okay, great. Recently, I was thinking about you and my past clients. I was on a training course and they were talking about our past clients and how important they were. You came to mind. And so I thought I would just check in with you to say how you and your husband are doing and how the kids are. Oh, great. That's really nice. So tell me, how are things going? And so at this point, you're going to talk about them. So listen, number one and number two, you're just introducing yourself. Tell them you were thinking about them. Something came up, this webinar, for example. But then number three, most important, is have them talk about themselves. Ask questions about how they're doing. Ask about the coronavirus, if it's applicable, how they're getting through that, and da-da-da-da. Talk about them. Do not bring up real estate at all, period. Now, what's going to naturally happen, they're going to ask you how you are doing. They're going to ask not just how are you doing, they're going to ask you what's going on in real estate or how your real estate business is. When and only if they do that, because if you bring up real estate, it's going to sound like an alternative motive. You just cared about doing business. So don't bring it up. Only if they bring it up, you'll say, you know what, because the interest rates being so low, here's what I'm finding, that people are falling into two categories. They're either refinancing their mortgage because they're down to like 3.5%, or, that's been fluctuating a little bit. Right now, they're 3.5%. And some people are saving a ton of money. So they're either refinancing it to lower their payments. Some are actually taking some money out to do improvements in their house. Or they're saying, you know what, for pretty much the same payment that they may be paying now, they can get a bigger house. And so some people are thinking about, listing and selling their property. So, point is that real estate is one of those markets that have been really going well during this coronavirus time. So we're doing great. I'm very excited. And then you close it with, if you need anything, consider me your coronavirus hotline, or not say that. It depends. Like in New York, when we started talking about this, because New York was a hotbed, of course, this was what our power agents on New York were saying a lot, because we had to shelter in, we had to stay in for weeks. And people were like, okay, let's help the community. So anyway, tweak that last one. If coronavirus is not as much of a concern in your market, then just say, consider me your hotline. You need anything. It doesn't matter. Even if you need gardener, roof, or whatever, I've got a whole team of people that I recommend, and I'm here to support you. Okay. And then you can do a follow-up mailing. Now, the next thing I want to teach is the orphan adoption dialogue. And here's what the orphan adoption dialogue is. There are some people that bought or sold a house in your company, and the agent who was involved in that transaction is no longer working for your company. That's the orphan. So what you want to do is you want to adopt those people into your client base. And let me just go through this dialogue really quick. Hey, I'm looking for Mrs. Hanahana. Yes, this is her. Well, hi, this is Darryl Davis from Power Realty. How are you? Oh, great. Step 3, clarify. The reason for the call is to apologize. And the reason for the apology, it seems like you bought a house from us 4 years ago, and the agent who is involved in that transaction is no longer with our company, and it seems like we lost touch with you. So I've been appointed as the representative in the company to help you, and if you need anything real estate related, I'm your designated agent. Oh, well, that's very nice. So by the way, how are you guys doing? And then you'll go on to step 4, and you'll start asking questions. So how are you guys doing? Are you doing okay? Is there anything we can do for you? How are you liking the house? Have you made any improvements to the house? Oh, you've done that. Oh, that sounds really great. Oh, you've got this and that. And you're just, again, building a relationship with another human being. At some point, it may be valuable for you to offer, hey, listen, one of the things we're also doing is an updated market analysis on our clients' homes. The updated market analysis, the reason why we're doing this is because your house is perhaps one of your most important assets. And just like you might have a stock portfolio that you check up on periodically, or even you go to the doctors for a physical once a year, here at Power Realty, we believe our clients should have an updated market analysis on their property once a year. If you'd like, I'd be more than happy to do that for you. What entails is, I'm going to take a little bit of notes, ask you questions of any changes you might have made, then go back to the computer, do the research, print out a report, and send it to you. Is this something you'd be interested in? Sure. Okay, here. And anyway, we're starting that conversation. Now, they may be amazed at how much their house is worth. Let me tell you, that's another thing. Some of these sellers, they don't realize how much their house may have gone up. And if they're like, wow, my house is worth that much, here's what happens. if a homeowner discovers, no, your house is not worth this, it's worth this, all of a sudden possibility open up for them, options open up. They might be like, wow, that's, well, we could refinance, we can improve the house, or maybe we should sell it and go buy a bigger house where there's the value. Anyway, so this is powerful, powerful stuff. Okay, next thing, let's go on. Is where are we? Prospect to build listing inventory. Okay, so we put a button on that. Here's the next thing: is improve your listing conversation. This is wherever you are in that listing appointment. Now, some of you are masters at listing. You're good with that. Some of you need to look at that for the rest of this year. One of our power agents, John Godolfo from Central American Homes, I made $323,000 his second year. That's pretty good. And he attributes to what we teach when it comes to the listing appointment. Let's talk about that right now. Power agents, there is in the classroom section of the website, I did a whole hour, and actually 2 hours, on doing a virtual listing appointment. When you click on that, you're going to see a video that I'm training on how to do the whole virtual appointment plus PowerPoint slides. So that's all part of that. So it's like a 2-hour training on doing virtual listing appointments. And you can actually customize the PowerPoint slides so you can drop in your information. But everybody, let me give you some suggestions really quick on how to improve your listing appointment, listing conversations. This is, some people, they need to have photos taken. They may be a FSBO, or you may be a client of yours, having a marketing piece saying, here's some tips on how to take the best photos. Because let me tell you something, in this day and age of technology, it's really important more than ever to improve what you do from a visual standpoint. It's important that a seller is competitive, that they portray their property the best way. I just thought of something. I'm going to tell you. I had a power agent who got a listing. Now, this was a few years ago. This is before coronavirus. It just popped into my head. So she had there was this listing that was, her name's Tina, the agent. She had a listing and it was expired. It was on the market for like 9 months. So it expired. Then Tina, got the listing. All Tina did, in addition to changing the description and stuff, is she took new photos. Because what the agent had done before is use same photos from the previous agent. And so they kept recycling the same photos. So what Tina did, I wish I could, she simply, instead of taking like a photo straight onto the house, she moved like, I don't know, 25 feet to the side. And she took a side shot instead of a straight on. Now, what was interesting is when she did that stupid little thing, it made the house look so much bigger, because on the straight end, it looked small. But then when you got to see the whole length of the house, it looked so much bigger. She sold the house in 2 weeks. Now, was it because of the photo? I think so. Tina thought so. So things like that could be a powerful thing, especially in today's market. Here's something else too to improve. I'm really pushing this with our power agents to tell sellers that we do safe showings. And what a safe showing is we make sure that, things are sanitized after, we sanitize the house afterwards, after a weekend of open houses, for example, or make sure that the buyer's hands are sanitized, or we make sure things are sanitized. Airways, right? Make sure that we're wearing masks. The buyers are wearing masks, the footwear, the buyers either take their shoes off before they enter the house, or they put on those little booties, because we don't want them dragging in anything to the house. And it's eyes open. I'll make sure we open up the cabinets, the doors, so the buyers aren't touching anything. What do we tell our kids growing up? You see with your eyes, not your hands. Safe showings. Here's another thing, home repairs. A lot of people are doing one of the stocks that are up. Home Depot. Why? Because a lot of people, they've been sheltering their home. They've been tired of their home. They hate their house. They want to fix it up. They're spending money fixing their house. This is a value-added thing to give to people on a listing appointment. There's, I sat down and we wrote out what are all the things that an agent does for a homeowner. I came up with 184 things. That's how much work that we do as real estate professionals. This is, just imagine if you wrote down all the stuff that you do for a homeowner and give that as an ice-breaking piece on a listing appointment or as a mailing piece. Power agents, all of those things is in the listing appointment section of the Power program. So you go to listing appointment, all that stuff you'll see. Let me show you some other stuff improving your listing appointment. BuyOwner.com. When people say, you know what, I'm thinking about selling my house, this is BuyOwner's website. And BuyOwner's saying, listen, you don't need a realtor. Why pay? Look at this. Look at what's on your screen, gang. Don't pay 6% of houses again. But look what they're doing at the bottom there. They're using Realtor.com. They're saying a homeowner doesn't need to work with realtors, that you can do it yourself. But they got it right on their site that, yes, no, you still need realtors and you still need MLS. This guy that created that BuyOwner.com, when he sold his house in Florida, he actually listed with a Coldwell Banker agent. What did it say there? His name's Benetti. Listed for $3.7 million. This guy. So he's telling FSBOs, don't pay a commission. But meanwhile, he paid a commission. All right, here's some other ice-breaking stuff. If you're talking to a homeowner and they have children, what do they say? The quickest way, ladies, the old expression, through to a man's heart is through his stomach, because we like to eat. Well, the quickest way to a parent's heart is through the children. And so if you're dealing with a homeowner who has children, let them know. Have some pieces. Power agents, this is in your listing section. Tell them, listen, for children, moving can be a very stressful thing. And so what I did for you, Mr. Masana, is I created this little brochure to help with your children in this transition. It's stressful for them. I said stressful for me. It's stressful for the kids. Here, I love this one. This over here is the Clean House Partner, and how this works. So listen, there's several things about what I'm about to show you. When a parent has children, sometimes it can be tough on the parent. It can be tough on the children. So one of the things I suggest you do when you have children is you designate them as a realtor in training, that they be your assistant. Now, obviously, if the kid's like, a year old or 2 years old, they can't form a sentence, this doesn't apply. But if they're 8, 9, and 10, whatever, and you say, listen, I will need, if your mommy and daddy decide to have me be their agent, would you be my assistant agent? And the kid be like, what? Yeah, what does that mean? It's the Clean House. The kid, you put the kid's name in there and say, I agree to help keep my room clean and my things picked up. I will be cheerful and helpful so that our house will sell fast. I will earn tickets for doing these things and work towards a special prize. My parents will give me these tickets I earn. I love this. And then here's what they have to do. They got to pick up their toys. They get a ticket. They make the bed in the morning. They get a ticket. They turn on the lights when people are coming to see that. They get a ticket. Help wipe down the surface. Keep it clean. Help mommy keep the house tidy. They sign it. The kid can't sign it, so they'll put an X. Parents sign it. And at the bottom, the tickets are redeemable for a treat, a Happy Meal, coloring book, a game, ice cream, something like that. And you tell the parents, listen, I'll buy these for the kid because I want to help this kid. I want to make it fun for your child. And then there's even the tickets we created. I love this thing. This is cool. And it's a great icebreaker. It's fun for you, but most importantly, because I'm passionate about children, it helps the child through what can be stressful, and they may not be able to communicate the stress. So this makes it fun for the kid. So that's improve your listing appointment, motivating buyers to buy. And motivate buyers to buy and buy from you. So listen, I'm going to say something because I know I just have a few slides on this. Gang, there is a webinar I did on a whole hour on just working with buyers and how to get buyers to work with you. In this market, it's really important that we get buyer loyalty. And in this market, it seems harder to get buyer loyalty. And I think you should not be working with buyers if you don't have buyer loyalty, because you know what that's like. You're spending time and energy, and then they buy from another agent. Come on, it doesn't work. So you've got to, if somebody's not willing to commit to you and give you loyalty, they're already telling you up front that they're not guaranteeing they're going to buy from you. So why would you put time in doing this? It doesn't make sense. So let me share with you some things on how to do that. when you're explaining buyer agency to a buyer, you want to show them, if you're working exclusively with an agent, here's what it'll save you. And I don't have time to go over this form because it's lengthy, but it basically lists all of the activities that you would do as a buyer's agent. And there's an opportunity for you to put a dollar amount next to that activity, and then you total it up. And the concept here is you're showing the buyer that they'll actually save money by working with you. Okay, so that's the concept in this sheet. And power agents, this sheet is customizable. So if you don't like one of the things, the tasks there, the lines, you can delete it, you can edit it. Almost all of our stuff you can edit. As your buyer's agent, I will do these things. This is the same concept as the first page, but it doesn't put a dollar amount to it. I'll promote and protect your interest. I'll sign an agency agreement saying that I'll represent you as the buyer. I'll ask you to be loyal and not work with other realtors, etc. But here's my favorite one that I want to show you. And this is really over the top for some of you, but man, this really works. And what it says, and you can customize the language if it's too strong for you. As a seller's agent, here's what I cannot or may not do for you as a buyer. Now, let me explain. If a buyer, depending on your state, which this is true for most states, if a buyer doesn't hire you as their buyer's agent, then you are facto, pseudo, whatever the legal term is, de facto, you're automatically representing the seller. So if the buyer doesn't hire you, you automatically represent the seller then in most states. Now, you need to tell that to a buyer. And you need to tell them, listen, if I'm representing the seller, at the bottom there, it says, as a seller's agent, my fiduciary responsibility is to the home seller. Therefore, I cannot advise you on the offer you should make when you find a home you like. After writing the offer, I will not negotiate the best price for you, but instead for the seller. I may not represent your best interest. My responsibility is to represent the seller's best interest. I mean, this is strong, but what I love about this, you're being really clear. So what do you want? You want me to represent the seller, represent the buyer? So if you want me to represent you, I need you to sign that agreement. Now, when you get a buyer's agency agreement, what I love this idea, what we create for our power agents, is create like a certificate, and it could be 8.5 by 11, or it could be smaller, that if they ever do go to an open house, they're driving around or they're checking out other houses, they would give this to the listing agent when they walk in the home, putting the listing agent on notice. Listen, I'm already being represented by Darryl Davis, my agent, and but we were just driving around. We wanted to check it out. What's also powerful about this is it's training the buyer to think, okay, I'm only buying from Darryl. So this solidifies the agency agreement that you have. Warren Buffett said, I love this. Most of us know Warren Buffett is a billionaire, made his money in the stock market. And he says, you know what? I buy up a couple 100,000 single family homes, have held for a long period of time, purchase lower. Houses are even better than stocks. So the guy who's a billionaire from the stock market says real estate's even better. That's an example to show buyers that they should be buying now. And also here is this, you want to show a buyer that if they don't buy now, they're maybe losing out on the low interest rates. This shows that if the interest rates just went up 1%, the buyer is going to lose $25,000 in mortgage money, reducing the purchase price options, but their payment still goes up by almost $100. So they're paying $100 more for less house, right? And this is if they have children. We're going to skip this. Motivate buyers to buy. And to summarize, okay, we're going to recommit to our profession. That's what you need to do. Recommit to your profession. By the way, I have a special for the non-power agents. So non-power agents, stay with me. I'm going to give you guys a gift. Revisit your business plan. Prospect to increase your listing inventory. Improve your listing conversation. And then motivate buyers to buy and buy from you. I'm going to stay in just a minute after this. I'm going to share a special for you guys. If you have any questions, I'm going to answer those questions. But let me tell you the gift that we have for you guys right now. For those of you that are not power agents, we are going to be raising the tuition this month. But if you get in at this price now, you're locked in for life as long as you're a power agent. But if you want to check out the program, you can do that for just $5. You have full access to everything. You get complete access to the site. You get a copy of this recording. Plus, you get a copy of my PowerPoint slides. So that way you don't, the PowerPoint slides are in the program, but it makes it easier for you to just, so you don't have to find stuff. Every Monday, we have a coaching call from 11 o'clock to 12 where you can get one-on-one coaching. It's a group coaching call, but you can ask me a question. I'll coach you individually. There's webinars on demand. We literally have dozens of webinars and trainings that we've done. We've interviewed top agents, put it into a digital magazine. There's a closed Facebook group, which is absolutely incredible. The dedicated Power Agent website is filled with over 300 forms, flyers, and checklists. When you go to the dashboard and you click on Classroom, it has these topics that you look, if you needed help on something, for example, farming and self-promotion, you would click on that tab, and then you would have, this is just a minuscule of that page. This is just 3 columns. There's actually probably 12 columns in the farming, and every one of those forms you can customize and put your stuff in. We've added a favorite feature because there's over 300 forms and checklists and flyers that when you go to the favorite tab, just the ones that you picked are there. Also, we use the same search technology that Google uses. So let's say you type in the word FSBO, it searches the entire site and says, all right, here's the FSBO dialogue, here's a training on the FSBO, here's some FSBO infographics, etc., like that. Okay, and then the favorite part here too, for new agents, we created a tab. There's a tab for this new real estate reality. There's a notes section where you can keep notes during the training experience. And, but this is the real beautiful thing. This slide here, this is what you get when you sign up during this 30-day trial for $5. And if you'll, I'm going to tell you something really quick. In the upper left-hand corner, you're going to get a PowerPoint of 103 slides that you can edit. You get the survival guide. You get the sample COVID-19 contract addendums, the email templates, prospecting dialogue based on this time, and the Facebook Live videos. Anyway, you get, if you decide during the 30-day trial to cancel, all that stuff that you see on the screen is yours to keep. So you can almost just sign up for $5 and then cancel right away and keep all this stuff. But that's our gift to you. Plus, you get a copy of the slides today and the webinar. Now, before I go to questions, which doesn't have to be just about the Power Program, be about anything. Power agents, if you're still on the call, I would love, because with this happened, one of the calls where people were using the chat and Power agents were saying what they felt about the program. And it actually made my team feel really juiced up and happy. So if you're a Power agent, you're on the call. If you want to just tell the non-Power agents your thoughts about it, that would be great. Tell my team what you're thinking. But anyway, we're going to open up also to questions. So does anybody have a question about anything that I can help them with? So Julie, what do we got?
We do have some questions. If our Power agents who do want to share, use that Q&A panel as well so that we can publish that out to everybody.
Yep.
First question, Darryl, where do I find the schedules that you had, like all the time management stuff that you had in the beginning of the webinar?
Yeah, so that's a Power agent question, right?
Correct.
Yeah, so if you go to Classroom, right, I'm going to see if I can scroll back to that. When you go to Classroom, you get to this page, this is alphabetical, right? So when you get to the alphabetical time management, you go to the time management page. Everything that I showed you, the beginning motivational devices, the dot board, the daily to-do list, like the very beginning of the webinar, all that stuff is in the time management section of the Classroom. Okay.
Perfect. Deborah asks, in terms of the do not call, what
Yep.
if the seller is soliciting, but they say no broker in the ad?
Delore, that's a good question. I guess Delore.
Deborah.
Who said it?
Deborah.
I'm sorry. Okay. Deborah. I'm going to answer that question 2 ways. So everybody, Deborah's asking a great question. If somebody advertises no brokers, can you still call them? Because now it's maybe an unsolicited. Well, there's a second part to the law that I didn't get into. The law says that you cannot call somebody do an unsolicited call and sell them, right? We're not selling. What we're doing is we're responding to the ad we're not asking for their credit card phone over the phone. We're not selling anything. We're just calling about the ad to see the house. Because you could argue if you have buyer agency agreement with a buyer in a price range that FSBO is, you're representing the buyer. So it's as if the buyer's calling. So legally, you're representing the buyer. You could do that too. So without getting too in the weeds on your question, Deb, if they're a FSBO and they're on the do not call list, and you can call them. Doesn't matter. Just call them. I've never heard of an agent getting sued. Now, once again, if your broker says not to, then you don't. Okay. All right. Next question, Julie.
Yes. How do you find orphans?
Oh, great question. You ask your broker. So your broker has all the closed files. Tell the broker, listen, I just took this training. We have all these people who bought from us or sold, and the agent's not working here. I would like to call these people and mail these people, build a relationship, and see if I can shake the trees and generate some listings or sales or something. The broker would love for you to do that because nobody else is doing it. Brokers love that. So ask your broker. Next question.
Can you go over the safe showing system again?
Yeah. So the safe showing. Okay, I have to go to this. I'm a little out of sync here. So this is a little uncomfortable here. We're going to fix this setup, but the safe showing is here. So sanitize, right? Sanitize. So it stands for sanitize, airways, footwear, eyes only. Okay. And power agents, any of this stuff you can customize. Like this safe showing is a where am I? Is a PowerPoint slide for you, so you'll be able to customize that. You know, if you wanted to edit some of the words, you want to put your logo on it. So, you know what? I'll be honest with you. Julie, I messed up on something. I said there's 300 forms. There's not this. You know, there's more. There's over 400 in the Power program. So, messed that up. But oh wait, I had the wrong camera here. I was saying what it was, Julie, and I didn't show it. Do I still need to do it?
Yes, people would like to see it again.
I'm sorry. We have a new camera set up here, gang. I thought I was showing it to you. There it is. So SAFE stands for sanitize, airways, footwear. And again, Power Agents, you can customize this PowerPoint. Next question, Julie.
Yes. What is included in the Power Agent program? Again, so I don't know if you want to do that last slide.
Yeah, let me go to the last slide. So gang, just give me a second here. And there it is. This is, well, this is not really, this is what you're getting as a bonus today. So this is not just what's included. I'm going to go backwards. So what's included is the website, right? So that's the first thing. So I'm going backwards. It's a little out of order. Oh, let me show you this. This is the dashboard. The dashboard, when you log in, there is 8 places to go. The first one in the left is the classroom. That's where all the magic is. The second one is our coaching calls. So every Monday we do the coaching calls for the Power Agents, and the phone number is in there that you can call in. And we also record the calls so you can listen to them. Then there is a CRM that is an add-on option for people that need a CRM. I think ours is the best in the business. Then the next one is the closed Facebook group link. There's how-to videos at the left for how to use the site, your profile, quick start guide for new Power Agents, and how to register for these weekly webinars. There's the website. There is the Power Agent closed Facebook group, the interviews that we've done, the webinars on demand, the weekly calls. And yes, this is only $27 a month, and which is ridiculous, I know. So it's the best investment in real estate. You really can't go wrong with it. So, but we are raising the tuition. So if you want to lock in that price, you need to do that like today.
Darryl, what are the best courses for FSBOs and expireds and approach for converting them?
The best approach for calling FSBOs and expireds, converting them.
So two questions actually. What's the best source for leads for FSBOs and expireds? And then what's your best approach for converting those leads into listing appointments?
Yeah, so the best source for the leads is RedX. RedX is a other company that they find FSBOs in your market. You have your own, it's their own membership, and they populate your dashboard with here's all the FSBOs in your area. They reverse it, they search it, they look for them. If they're on the do not call list, they tell you that. It's like a CRM just for prospecting FSBOs, expireds. As far as how to convert them, that's the dialogue that we didn't get into today because that's a different webinar. This was more about business planning, what you should be focusing on the rest of this year. But having good dialogue, having a strong listing appointment, having confidence that FSBOs lose money, they don't save money, and you're helping them, you're serving them, you're not selling them. So those are my thoughts on that. Next question.
Thank you. Can you review that orphan conversation real quick? Like, what would you say to a past client?
Yeah, which, by the way, those of you that sign up today, you're going to get this recording, right? So you'll be able to listen to it again, but I'll do it again really quick for you. And that is, hi, I'm Mary. This is Darryl Davis, Power Realty. How are you? The reason why I was calling is to apologize. Well, for what? It seems like you bought a house from us about 4 years ago, and the agent who was involved in that sale is no longer working for our company. And we noticed that we lost touch with you. So my broker has appointed me as the representative for the company, that if you ever need anything real estate related, I'm here for you. So I just want to apologize, introduce myself, and that's the purpose of the call. Oh, that is so nice. Well, hey, yeah, that's who we are. And then you go on to have that conversation with them. So how are you enjoying the house? You've been in there 4 years. Have you made any improvements to it? And And then at some point you'll offer that updated market analysis of the property. Next question, Julie.
Yes. Where do we find the children's, like the children's flyers and the
Yeah, that's the children, all that stuff with the children, the brochure, the Gamify, and I think there's a couple of other items in there. That's all in Classroom, then listing appointment. So that's where you'll find that.
Perfect. How do I get my RedX downloads or leads into my Power Builder CRM? I can answer.
I don't know the question. That's a great question. It came from Mike. Yes, Mike, that's a really great question. I'm not sure how to do that. So what I want you to do, Mike, is to call first the Power Builder company that we contracted with and ask them. If they don't know the answer, they will know the answer, but you may still have to call RedX. So the two of them may have to do something.
They don't currently have an integration, but the Power Builder team will help you integrate they'll help you move your contacts from RedX to the Power Builder.
Well, that's context. Yeah, I don't know if this is the same though, Julie. Maybe it is. Maybe there's the same process. What we do know they do, if let's say you're on another CRM platform, Top Producer, for example, and you want to move all of your contacts and closing information and all that stuff into the Power Builder, the customer service at the Power Builder company, they will move it over for you or help you move it over. So that I know they do. Okay.
Do we have
next question
newsletter available?
We have so much stuff that we use. Well, okay, that's not true. I was going to say, no, we don't. We don't the way we used to have it. We do have, oh, Julie, we should add a slide of this. I totally forgot. Listen, we do have something. Every Saturday, they're called Saturday Strategy. What is it called, Julie?
Saturday Strategies.
Saturday Strategies. And what that is we email you, just Power Agents, one item from the Power program that we think you should use and suggestion or tip. So we have that. Tuesday, we do have a newsletter, an easy newsletter that we send out each week, but we send that out to everybody. Although my company loves to work hard. So instead of having just one newsletter, no, Julie and everybody else, I got to have two. One is for non-power agents and one for power agents. So that Tuesday newsletter is got special stuff in there for power agents. Next question.
I think they were talking about newsletters for like
Oh,
farm, and we do have ones that you can customize and print that are in the system, and our Power Builder has another version as well. So
yeah. Let me go to. I took me off camera because I'm just going to go to the newsletter in the Power Program site. Which, by the way, gang, if this looks a little fuzzy, which it might, it's because I'm sharing it a different way. But anyway, this is the classroom. These are all the topics. And then here you'll see farming and self-promotion. When you click on farming and self-promotion, let me see if I can reset, zoom in on this. There is, oh, there's so much good stuff. I want to start clicking right now because I love what's in here. But let me go to newsletters. Remember I said things are alphabetical? There's the newsletters. So here you've got April, August, December. For some reason, these are out of order a little bit, like January. February. What month are we in now, Julie? We're going into September.
Going into September.
We're in August, but we're going to be going into September, right? So let me see if I can find. Well, let me just do the August one. So when I click on August, there's the newsletter, and it's in PowerPoint, and that way you can customize it. So if I enable customization, what you can do is you can edit this stuff. You can put your contact information on the bottom. So, so that's what we have for you there as far as newsletters are concerned. Let me go back to here. Julie, is there another question while I'm poking around this?
Sure. 1 second. I'm just answering one.
By the way, Power Agents. So, Julie, hold on 1 second. Power Agents, there's a flyer that we have for you. I just want to point this out. It's the do's and don'ts during the fall season. And so, you know, put your contact information in there and get ready. Like some of you should think coming up, like the seasons, like December and the colder weather, like just think, look in the Power Program website because there's probably something based seasonally that we have for you. Like we have the trunk or treat thing. Where's the trunk or treat thing? I love this.
Treat thing.
I love the trunk or treat thing. And these are all letters. These are all Word documents that you can edit. But let me see. I'm doing alphabetical. I can't find the trunk or treat, but it's somewhere. Okay, next question, Julie.
Yes, your schedule that you showed early on does not show appointments. When do you time block for those? How do you schedule them into that?
Yeah, that's just the concept, you know, for you to, you see what I just did? I don't know if you guys noticed, but I couldn't find the trunk or treat thing. So what I did was I used that search function that we have, and I just typed in the word trunk, and then it searched the entire website, and there is the trunk or treat guide. And this will take a little while to open because it's a really big book. We have guides that are so many pages. So let me open this up, and then Julie, I'll go back to your question.
Sure.
So this is the trunk or treat. What we did is we created a guide on how to do a trunk or treat. And for those of you who don't know what a trunk or treat thing is, let me see. We have a picture of it. It's essentially, yeah, here it is, but let me zoom in. It's basically, instead of kids going door to door, what you do is you rent or you just don't even have to rent. You just find a parking spot or something. And the parents come to the parking lot and they decorate the trunks. So the kids go trick-or-treating from car to car, which in this coronavirus world, that's probably a smart thing to do. And so I love this idea because, again, I told you, I think I said I have a passion for children. We have our own children's charity in our company. And anyway, so we created this guide to help you as an agent on how to promote this trunk or treat, and you manage it. We gave you links, we gave you flyers on how to send it out to the neighbors. It's a really cool thing. Okay. What was your question, Julie?
It was about the adding appointments into the calendar.
Yeah. So let me go back to me. So putting appointments into your calendar. So the calendar we gave you is just an idea. It's not designed for you to. It's a cheat sheet for you, but you should have your own way of doing your schedule. And I would say that'd be digital. Like my schedule is on my phone, so I use Google Calendar in our company because our team is also, we have a lot of virtual people too. So whenever we schedule something, the whole team will know because it's on the Google Calendar. It syncs with my phone. So if somebody schedules something for me, the other thing that I use is called Calendly, which I love this because if somebody wants to talk to me, we have an appointment, they click a link, they see when I'm available because it syncs with my Google Calendar, and they pick an available time. They click on it, then it goes into my calendar. I get a notice. So it's almost like Calendly is like my receptionist that just manages my schedule, but it's digital, right? So it's really cool. Next question.
What is the easiest way to refer the Power Agent program to a fellow agent? And I can answer that when you go to that the link, darrylspeaks.com/trial. When people are signing up, there's actually a referred by, and we have a treat for people who refer people. So you'll get a call from Gail, and we've got some special offers for you. So that when you sign up, if they
do
sign
me a
up,
favor. Sorry, Julie, go ahead.
So if you go to that and you go fill out the order form, there's a referred by. Make sure that they're putting your name in there.
Is there a link that we need to know, or no? They just go to this same link here, trial.
Same link. Yep.
Same
just
link.
Sure
Okay.
they fill out the referred by.
So Don, you got that? Just give them this link. And when they go to the link, there'll be a place who referred you. Make sure they put your name in it. Okay, got it.
Perfect.
Next question.
Can the pieces be branded by company?
Yeah.
That was an easy answer.
Almost everything on the page in the website is customizable. Now, listen, I just want to be clear. We have the most promotional items of any trainer in our industry. You will not find a training program that has as much content as we have. It would take somebody literally years with a staff to try and match what we've done. But we are not a self-promotion company. We are a training company on how to do listing appointments, call FSBOs, call expireds, how to work with buyers, show properties, how to promote our properties. So we're a listing and selling skills training organization that has an incredible depth of promotional pieces, forms, checklists to run your business like a business. And you have total access to use it all in your business. And yes, $27 a month. And you can cancel anytime. It's really, really an awesome thing. Okay. Any other Power Agent that's on the call, if you want to comment about what you like about the course, please let me know. What's the next question, Julie?
I recall on a past webinar you sent out, you talked about sending out a mailer to referrals from past clients. Is that part of the Power Agent program, Power Agent Suite? We have letters for referrals.
Yeah, I'm sorry that I'm not clear about it, but I'm not clear which piece you're asking, but here's what I can promise you. Everything that you see on the screen is in the program. So if you saw me show it on the screen, it's in the program, and it's customizable. And the item that I think you're talking about is going to be in the self-farming and self-promotion part of the program, or it will be in the prospecting. There's one other thing I'm going to tell you. We have incredible support. I got to go back. I'm going to turn me off again and show you something else. When you go to the website, do you see this, gang, in the bottom right-hand corner? It's a little chat button. That says Julie. So you hear Julie on the phone right now, and she says that you're offline right now. But Sarah, I have a whole team. So my point is that there's real human beings behind this chat. So especially if you're a power agent and you have a question about something, you just ask us and we're there for you. So it's not an automated robot nonsense where you go through hell waiting for somebody to respond to you. I can't stand those. Anyway, so we have a great team of people that you always have access to. Even if you're not a power agent, if you have a question, just reach out to us. But for power agents, you're always at the top of the list. Okay. Next
We
question.
have some power agents that are asking about how they get restarted if they've been a power agent in the past. So you do that same thing. You can still go to darrylspeaks.com/trial and use that chat button that he just showed, and we're here to help you get re-onboarded.
Yeah, if that's if they're not signed up or they are signed up, but they haven't been
they were a
using
power agent in the past and they want to reconnect their membership.
Yeah. So use use the chat. So if you dropped it, if you listen, if you where am I? If you dropped out, make sure you get dropped back in because the tuition's going up. So lock in, because once you're locked in at 27, you're locked in. You can quit. No, you can drop out anytime and cancel anytime. So there's a month to month, but you'll, as long as you want to stay, you're at the lower price. Okay.
Awesome. Mike asks, in Activity Tracker, it says to host a virtual Q&A. How would you do that? So probably just a virtual meeting. If you did a virtual workshop, for example, you'd use tools like Zoom or in our tech.
Yeah, the Activity Tracker.
We have a lot of that in there.
He's saying in the Activity Tracker, so I'm confused by what he means by that.
One of the things to do is to host a virtual Q&A.
Oh, it is. Oh, okay. Yes. Okay, great.
So maybe in our tools and training, we tell how to do that.
Yeah. So first of all, who asked that question?
That question was...
It was Mike, I think. Mike. It doesn't matter. So Mike, so to do a virtual Q&A, you want to, there's a couple of things. First of all, in the Power Program, under Classroom, Technology, there's some tech training in there. The tech training goes into how to use PowerPoint. There's a tech training on using Zoom, and there's a whole bunch of other tech training. How to set up Instagram, how to set up Facebook. So but to give you the simple answer is you can do a Q&A on Facebook. You can use Zoom. This is really cool. I don't know if people know this. When you log into Zoom and you start Zoom, and then you have somebody wants to call in, it's a Q&A, Zoom, at the bottom of the menu in Zoom, you click on it, it says stream to Facebook. So what you can then do is stream it to your Facebook page, and now you're using Zoom and Facebook, you're recording it. Anyway, so that's a quick answer to that. Next question.
Perfect. Tom asks, how do I log into the Monday sessions? He's a Power Agent. Welcome, Tom, to the Power Agent program.
Tom, welcome to the Power Agent program. Tom, listen, first of all, if you're a new Power Agent, let me close this. There is this, where is it? Where am I going, Julie? I'm so, I just had a brain. Oh, dashboard. You go to dashboard, Tom, and I'm going to tell you two things. Tom, you go to dashboard, and then you'll see how-to tutorials, but this quick start guide, this is really awesome, the quick start guide. This will help you get, give you some guidance on the Power Program on how to get started, okay? It's a big file, so that's why it's taken forever to load. But to answer your question, what also here on the dashboard, it says coaching calls. When you click on coaching calls, it will give you the phone number to call, which I'm not showing right now because I don't want, because we keep changing the number, but this is where you would get the number and where we record all of the previous calls that you can listen to. So there's months of content here for you. Okay. Yeah, there's just a lot. Here's the quick guide, Tom. And so this goes through step 1, do this, step 2, do that. Step 3, 4, and there's hyperlinks. Like it'll tell you, go to the coaching call tabs. There's the weekly Wednesday webinars, which is the one today. And when you click on it, it'll bring you to that page. And so that's it on that. Okay, next question, Julie. Julie, you still with me?
Is there a trial for the CRM?
Yes, the trial for the CRM, it's 30 days. And it's free. And then after that, you decide if you want to stick with it, and that's it. Yeah, it's free.
So to get that, you would go to that same darrylspeaks.com/CRM, and you can learn more about that.
Yes. Yes. Next question.
Perfect. So if I signed up, it says you'll get an email showing how to verify your email and log in. How soon will I get the email? If you haven't seen it in a few minutes, please check your spam.
Yep.
Sometimes it lands in there. What time for the Power Agent program on Mondays, and how long are they?
11 o'clock to 12 o'clock. So these webinars, and this is Eastern time. It's an hour earlier than what this webinar was, but it's in there for you. And yeah. Hey, Sarah, are you with me, Sarah? Said Julie, do you know, is there a way for people to create a calendar to download into their Google Calendar the Monday call information?
I am here.
I do not know
Sarah.
that.
Sarah, do you know if we do that?
We can certainly add that to the coaching call tab.
Absolutely.
A little add to
Yes.
calendar. Perfect.
Yeah. So gang, here's what we're going to now add. I just thought of that. So the calls are every Monday from 11 to 12. The number changes each month because for security reasons, and it's in the classroom section of the Power Program website, but we're going to add a link so you click on it, you can populate your calendar and it'll save the information. So it'll always be in your phone or whatever calendar you use. So we're going to add that for you. Okay, good. Next question, Julie.
I do want to shout out to all of the Power Agents who've been sharing some love in their comments. So thank you very much to all of you, and thanks for being on the call. And
awesome.
Barring any further questions, I think that's it.
All right, gang. So listen, this is. I hope this was helpful. I love doing this for you. There's a lot, and we're here for you. Monday calls, the best thing, because there you can get customized coaching. You ask questions that you personally need, and we'll address that. So make sure you sign up. You'll get your email. You'll get your gifts pretty much right away, and that's it. And we'll see you on the calls. And please do it before to lock in this ridiculous pricing that we've had. We've held it this long for the coronavirus time, and now we have got to get to the next level. We just have to. So anyway, thank you, Margarita, for your comment. I appreciate that. I'm looking at the chat now. So thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful day. Stay focused, stay safe, and don't forget to keep smiling. All right. Bye-bye, everybody.